Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Welcome back.
And I've been busy.
Yeah, how was the visit?
Yeah, it was good.
Awesome. You guys had a
Yeah,
good
sleeping
time?
yesterday. Yeah, it was good.
Awesome. Would
And
you
yesterday,
Oh
did
yeah.
you the alarm or something? Was it?
What was that?
Was it your alarm clock or something? Was it?
Oh no, it's my phone. My phone died in my sleep because I just got a new phone. So I don't like to keep it charging overnight. I'd rather like charge it throughout the day, get it to 100%, and then um, you know, just leave it off a charger throughout the night because if you overcharge it like that, it's typically bad for the battery. So I've just been trying to do that. And my phone, I didn't realize what my battery life was on. My phone died in the middle of the night and never woke me up.
You should get a Alexa.
Yeah, no, I have an Alexa in the kitchen, one of those Echoes, kitchen
Yeah,
Echoes. Um, but you know, oh well, no excuse.
yeah. Like every morning, I have a my Alexa and my phone goes off.
Oh, does it?
I have two on just in case.
Normally what I have as well is what's it called? I have an Apple Watch, which wakes me up too, and I normally wear that as well, but that didn't do its job either because I wasn't wearing it.
Oh yeah, I never wear my Apple Watch.
Yeah, it's see, I don't want to get into all like conspiracies or whatever, but like something with radiation, like having your phone in your pocket. I know that's not too good, but also like when you wear an Apple Watch, there's this green light and like there's something that you got going on right over here that it's constantly on your wrist and it's constantly taking your heartbeat or your heart rate, stuff like that. And I don't know, I just
Yeah, you don't know what it is like.
it just makes you think. I'm not going crazy with it, but it's just like, would it be better if I don't wear this as much as I would?
Yeah. Well, I just find it annoying on my wrist. When I'm sleeping.
Sure.
Sometimes.
It's it is good for waking you up though because it does vibrate, which is cool.
All right. Yeah, that's handy, right?
Yeah, 100%. So last night my fiance came in from Florida. She was down there with her cousins, and I had to pick them up. They had a 11 o'clock flight coming in. Had to drop them off in Jackson, which is 40 minutes away from my house, an hour away from the airport. So I didn't get in till I honestly didn't get to sleep till like 1:30,
That's not too bad. What time is it now? Like 6?
6:30. Yeah.
That's not too bad.
Well, waking up around 5:30, it's
Yeah.
lose a good amount of sleep. So how you doing? Fill me in a little bit since we don't have many people in yet. Um, like where you were the whole month or not? I know where you've been, but I'm saying like where you've been with your trading. How do you feel? What could be better? What do you want to work on? Just
It's good. I posted stuff in the London chat, but it's only me ever in there. So
I know,
I
I
feel
know.
like Gary used to be Gary and now it's me.
I don't know where Gary is. I'm honestly kind of concerned with him because he's going through a rough time with his family and
Yeah.
financials and stuff like that. I don't want to get too into it, but um, he hasn't answered on here.
Yeah.
I'm kind of concerned for him. Do you follow him on Instagram?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, does he post stuff?
No, not that I know
He
of.
hasn't been posting lately.
No, he hasn't posted in like a few months.
Okay, well, yeah, yeah. Huh. All right. Well, I did get back on Instagram. I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things on Instagram, posting everything and stuff like that. But I'm looking to get more people in here, especially for that London chat, because we got Nathan, we got Alan, we got all these guys, and Matei, all these guys that once COVID kind of started to calm down a little bit, they started going back to work. It's been a lot more difficult for them to trade, or
Mm.
some people just lost the passion for it. Whatever the case is, we don't have as much activity in London, so I'm looking to get more guys in here for that. So
Yeah,
I apologize for that. You don't have many people in there. I'm sleeping at the time, so um, I'll get more guys in there for you.
but yeah, trading's going all right. Like I passed phase 1 or phase 2 this morning, so it's grand. But
Started phase 2 for a funding talent.
no, for
FTMO, cool.
no MFF. I finished phase 2.
MMF,
Yeah, it's just my Forex ones.
okay,
Yeah, I did their challenge, so I finished that this morning. So
okay, good stuff.
it was 10. I think it was 8% phase 1 and 5% phase 2.
And do they have a certain time limit, or you
Yeah,
can?
I did the first one in 10 days. Like there's minimum trading days, so I did the first one was 10 trading days. I finished in 10 trading days. The
Okay,
second one was 10 again, but it took me a bit longer because I was busier, so I did in 22 trading days.
okay, good looks.
Sorry.
I say good looks. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, thanks. Like I finished it now, so now I have the live account.
Okay, good for you, man. That's amazing. So we got a lot of Fed testifying, or just speaking. A lot of Fed presidents or Fed members around the country talking this week. But let's take a look at what we had yesterday. We had durable, wow, core durable goods coming in worse than expected, but we did get the durable goods coming in a lot better than expected over here. So a lot more things coming into the U.S., a lot more managers purchasing things. So then we had some of these members speaking. Now it looks like they're a little bit more hawkish. Like Powell's speech last week was a little bit more hawkish than we expected, but at the same time, they're all on different. Oh, here we go. We got some guys coming in. They're all on different pages. Like Powell is obviously the most dovish of them all, and if you want to call that hawkish, I guess you could. The previous speech. What's up, Reese?
Morning, morning.
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Not too bad, man.
Awesome. You had a good weekend?
Yeah, I had a really good weekend with the family. Yeah,
Love to hear it. So
it's
you're
good,
hitting
man.
legs?
Yeah, yesterday, what I got going on today? I think I have chest and tries today.
Let's go. Good
So,
for you. Keep it up. Yeah, chest and tries. I feel like everyone has chest and tries on Monday, right?
huh?
I feel
Today's
like every.
Tuesday.
What was that?
It's
Oh,
Tuesday today.
oh wow, yeah. No, because of yesterday, it feels like Monday right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're breaking down the economic calendar, then we'll get into the charts over here. So looking over here, what happened yesterday? You got core durable goods coming out yesterday, worse than expected, and then durable goods came in much better than expected. So that was good for the economy. But you have a lot of these members speaking. You have Bailey speaking yesterday. That's the head of the Bank of England, and then some FOMC members. And I was just explaining to James that a lot of these guys are on different pages. Like some people are really telling what's happening, and a lot of other people are trying to hide the fact that we do have inflation, trying to say like, it's not that big of a deal. It's going to go back to normal pace. Inflation right now is at double of what it should be, over double of what it should be. They typically aim for 2% inflation on a yearly basis. Like that's what they like to keep it at. And right now it's over more than double 2% right now. So and then you got Powell coming out saying that it's just normal. It's going to go back to what it was, and we're going to be looking at tapering right now soon. So how are they saying that it's not that big of a deal, and now they're talking about they want to taper, right? So it just doesn't line up. It doesn't make sense. Anybody really paying attention would know that they're just trying to hide things, and it's because they caused it, right? Whenever you're printing money and everything, you're causing that inflation. whenever you're adding anything into a circulation, you're gonna decrease the value of it. Whenever you add more to it. I'm trying to make it a broad subject instead of just like money, like printing money. Like it goes for anything. When you put more cars into circulation or more types of that car into a circulation, a lot more people are going to have the choice to buy it, but you're going to decrease the value of it. So that's basically what's going on right now. That's that whole quarrel. But over here, moving into Tuesday and what we have today, Lagarde is speaking. If you trade EJ, right, like that'll be a big thing for you. Moving into 9 a.m., you got HPI. You have Powell is speaking at 10 o'clock, so that's going to be the main mover. That's what a lot of people are going to be waiting on. He's going to be testifying in front of Congress. You got consumer confidence, which is a big deal. And then you got Bowman and then Bostic speaking as well. So those are the main things that we're going to be looking at today. Get NPC members speaking as well. So this is going to be going on all week. You got a lot of different monetary policy members. You got FOMC members, Bank of England members speaking this week. So it's a pretty big deal. And then you got PCE at the end of the week, which I'll go over in a second. But moving into tomorrow, we have pending home sales, right? Also, a lot of real estate stuff coming out of Great Britain over here. So they're expecting better money supply or higher money supply, less mortgage approvals, and then net lending to individuals is going to be higher, it looks like. So, but then moving over here, you got Bailey speaking again, Kuroda speaking again. This will be a big deal for us tomorrow. And also keep in mind that Wednesday is a big volume day. So we could get some good moves tomorrow. We could definitely get some good moves today as well with Powell testifying, but Powell's going to be speaking again as well. We get some retail sales coming out of Japan. And then that's about it for us, at least. Then again, you got Kuroda speaking, right? You got French consumer spending, CPI coming out for the euro as well. You have GDP coming out for Great Britain, right? Later on in the day, 8:30, New York Open. You got final GDP coming out, unemployment claims as always every Thursday. Again, you got some FOMC members speaking as well. More volume, right? Unemployment rate coming out of Japan, big for anybody trading GJ, right? And then you got the what's it called? Chinese holiday, but that shouldn't affect us at all. Moving into Friday, PMI day, manufacturing PMI day coming out of Euro, Spanish, French, German. German's the main one that you want to pay attention to if you do trade EJ. And then CAD GDP coming out. But this is the main indicator that the Fed looks at when it comes to inflation, right? And they're looking like it looks like they're expecting inflation to go down a little bit. But this is basically the main indicator for them to gauge inflation. Moving later into 10 o'clock, you have ISM manufacturing PMI as well. So, and then consumer sentiment, University of Michigan. So a lot of things to pay attention to this week, a lot of volume that we could be getting. We already have been getting some good volume. So gold dropped overnight. I call part of the move. I'll point it out to you guys in a little bit, but
I did too, actually.
what was that?
I caught some of it last night as well.
Beautiful. Send a chart whenever you get a chance, but we'll break it down. But looking over here at GJ, right? Again, we always point out, let me get rid of some of these things over here. There we go. So this is the 3-month, the quarterly over here. And we've been in this multi-year downtrend over here, price tapping into this area and then reacting for the third time. But mainly it's reacting to that previous high up here that we reached after the Brexit tank, right? Right. They announced Brexit was going on. We never passed the low of these previous, the 2008 market crash over here. Never broke the low of that. And then we recovered a little bit, and then we just tanked again to retest that low. Then COVID happened. We created that low, and then we've been in that market recovery ever since. But 156 has been a crucial level over here. But as you can see, these candle body highs, these wick projections over here, created that resistance, and now it's holding support over here to then possibly continue up. But we have to see what happens. The quarter is almost done, right? That's also another thing, going back to the economic calendar and fundamentals. You also want to know that the quarter is almost over and the month is almost over. So you want to be careful around these days, as far as the end of September. Maybe lower risk a little bit, maybe be a little bit more conservative, but just keep in mind it's the end of the month. Banks are taking profit. People, big movers are taking profit. Big market makers are taking profit. So just want to be careful with your trading, right?
Is it always like that at the end of the months?
Just about, yeah. But especially at the end of the quarter, you're going to see pullbacks.
Okay.
So, and those pullbacks are banks taking profit, institutions taking profit, and price could be a little bit more wacky than it normally is for you. So, just all I'm saying is keep that in mind. And that's what this is. This is the quarterly over here. We're moving into the monthly over here. As you could see, the bullish. Oh wow. The bullish move from COVID pushing us all the way back up to 156. Then we've been in this multi-year down or multi-month downtrend ever since reaching 156 back in May. So right over here, you see this area over here in which price has been reacting to, right? Previous resistance, rejection area, now a support. And this current monthly candle, September, created our top wick up here, flipped bearish, started coming all the way back down into 149, and then rejected, creating that support and continuing right back up, which is what we called, right? We were talking about that on the live streams all last week, that could possibly happen. So looking at the weekly over here, we've been in this downtrend, respecting it and just pushing low, creating these new lows, continuing right back down to retest the previous lows, and then coming right back up to retest the previous area, and then continuing right back down. I like this weekly candle over here and the current weekly candle as well. The two previous candles, could we hold support over here and continue up and start to break this area and continue up? We need to break a couple levels like here and here for something like that to happen, and for you to know that we're going to be on our way back up to 156, but at the same time we're still respecting this bearish trend, right? We're still rejecting it right over here. So you just got to keep that in mind. You can't just all of a sudden just take buys and hope for the best. You need levels to break. You need a wide stop loss if you're going to do something like that, but just make sure that you're paying attention to what you've seen in the past, and you're paying attention to the candle patterns, and you're just being smart. But we could very well be rejecting this area for the last time and continuing right back up to 156. Pat is texting me over here. So again, looking at the weekly, lower lows, lower highs, coming right back up to retest that area. I point it out every time. You guys know how GJ moves, but right now we have 149 as that key level, and every single time we just shoot up from there, right? Tap into it and just shoot right back up to retest the previous area, consolidate or create a resistance, and then continue down. Are we reacting to this level over here? If you take a look, that looks perfect. It looks like we just came right back up into this area, right? The Fed announced how they were a little bit hawkish over here, and all of a sudden, and also a big part of it was technical, obviously. Banks hopping in over here at this key level and then hopping up, and also the Bank of England announcing that they're thinking about increasing interest rates before the end of the year, and that's before they even taper. So that's obviously going to send GJ up. Now, I'm not saying just sell from here where price is going to come down. You need a couple levels to break as well, which is what we're going to break down. But you do have clean moves over here that you can mirror for us to maybe retest this area one more time. So looking at the 4 hour, get multiple rejections over here. Right? Price rejected that area. Right now, we're breaking below a current consolidation over here. So this is kind of a range in here. Price was holding that range, and now it did break below the support over here with a clean move to the left. Our next level will be right here. Gonna move that over here. So the 4 hour looks nice. The 4 hour looks like we're coming right back into this area, rejecting this area. Looks a little similar to this, although the consolidation over here was much more, right? We consolidated in here, grabbed liquidity, and then just headed down. We consolidated in here, held support, came right back up, grabbed liquidity, and now we're just heading down, breaking that support to possibly continue down to 151 flat. Looking at the 1 hour now. 1 hour looks nice. Got a nice clean move to the left. Price closed below with this candle right here. Candle barely created a top wick over here at 6 a.m. Passed the low of that candle, and now it's just pushing down. Got clean moves to the left. So you got about 54 pips if you were to take it from here, but you'd be selling the low. Wait for 7 o'clock is coming around. So this candle is going to close bearish. So let's see how it closes. Let's see if we get some kind of smaller resistance forming over here, and then we could take this down if you're not in it already. James, you sent something into the chat for London, and this was GJ.
I sold it to QP at the top.
Oh, so you caught this buy, right?
Yeah, I caught the buy yesterday morning off the 5-minute chart.
Okay.
And 5-minute structure doing higher highs and higher lows. And then this morning, it was rejecting off the 0.500 QP up top of 152.500, and it was a 4 hour order block.
Okay.
So I just sold it, and when I got to the 5% in the challenge, I just closed everything.
So you sold from up here and caught this?
I didn't catch it all. I caught like 30 pips, and I closed it because that's all I needed for the...
Okay. 30 pips is 30 pips.
Yeah.
Well done, bro.
Thanks.
So it looks like the 30-minute right over here is passing the low of that candle. Got a clean move to the left. Got some good volume this morning. It's just pushing. Now, after breaking down the chart, I'm not just going to like hop into this, but, there's going to be plenty of moves today and plenty of moves this week. But what's it called? This looks pretty nice. We may be able to get some kind of a resistance formed over here for price to continue right back down. But if not, we missed it. That's fine. Again, there's going to be plenty of moves. Reese, did you take anything yesterday?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Now, do you understand the fact that like we don't take trades right before the hour close? Like we typically want to wait for that hour to close?
For the candle to print or close, right?
Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
A little bit.
Okay. So the reason we do that is because that next hour is going to have a pullback, especially an hour. 30-minute, not as serious, but as you can see, we just pushed all the way here and then we just snap back. So the next hour, you just got to think like, as we're moving down, we've had these top wicks over here, right? Before flipping bearish and continuing down. This one, not so much. And this is honestly a bad example, but especially on gold. GJ, yes, you do have to wait for the hour to close, but gold is pretty serious when it comes to waiting for the hour to close, waiting for the next wick to form, because it could just stop you out and not be pretty. So just make sure
like,
that
the trades that I've been taking on demo for now,
okay.
I noticed that I've also been getting stopped out by the spread.
Okay. Is your how wide is your stop loss?
So when I take an entry, I'll place my stop loss under the previous candle, the previous wick.
Okay. The previous which time frame?
30-minute and 15-minute.
Okay. Focus on the 30-minute and the 1 hour right now.
Okay.
It'll build your confidence. You'll be a lot more comfortable taking trades, especially waiting for those candles, because when you're first getting into trading, the 15-minute will fake you out a lot, especially on GJ and gold. So that's something that you want to work towards. You want to back test all the trades that you could possibly take on the 15-minute and even on the 5-minute, and see where you could have gotten in better. And that's what you want to journal. But when it comes to your trading plan right now, focus on the 30-minute and the 1 hour.
The 1 hour,
and you're going to be a lot more comfortable with your trades.
Okay.
Now, did you hear Sasha on FX? Do you know Trading Nut? That's what it's called.
Yeah, I did. It was a good episode.
Yeah, and he said that like he wasn't profitable until he went to the 30 minutes, only 30 minutes.
He was talking about that too, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was I found interesting. He said that he kept losing.
Yeah, he said everything changed when he went. That's a perfect example, James. Sasha is a guy that was in our circle, and I still talk to him all the time. He's a good guy, but he was on Trading Nut and said that he was trying to trade on the 15-minute and do his strategy on the 15-minute, and everything changed once he got rid of the 15-minute and focused on the 30-minute and the 1 hour. Right, so take that with how you will. That might be a good indicator for you to stay away from the 15 for now. But I
noticed it's like there's like too much movement, and it's like too overwhelming for me a little bit right now. So I was reading my trading plan, obviously, because I had it right there, and it said my time frame's 1 hour and 30 minutes. So I was like, I gotta stay on those two and just
100%. Now, another good thing, you set up your Trello, correct?
Mine, yeah.
Awesome, man. You've been on a roll the past week. You just got to keep that consistency this week. I love it.
I'm just trying to keep doing as much as I can, and like say if I don't do something, like if I didn't do something yesterday, I gotta make sure that I at least try and get something done, something of that done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, give me an example of what that would be.
For instance, like the back testing for now, right? Because I'm just getting used to reading the charts in like trading view.
Okay.
So, but like I at least go to trading view, look at it, try to mark levels, and try to get used to things.
Cool. And that's something that I told you we were going to go over today. Well, actually yesterday, but my dumbass didn't have my phone charged.
No, that's fine. Things happen.
Yeah, 100%. Shit happens. It's all good. Now, so yeah, you put out a goal as far as like a to-do list of things that you want to get done for that day, but you also have that daily must. How has that daily must been keeping you organized?
That one is really helpful.
Okay,
like
you feel focused.
I do more on the daily must than the to-do, but like the daily musts are like main ones that I really want to get done. For example, going to the gym, right? So
yeah, no, 100%. The to-do list is just there because there are many things that you need to get done. Sometimes you could go through the day and not, if your daily must is more important. The to-do list is like just like things, little minor things that you got to get done throughout the day, go grocery shopping, stuff like that. So sometimes you can afford to pass those on to the next day. But that daily must, like, it's got to be everything to you. And your mindset every day needs to be, the guy on the other side, or there's somebody out there in your industry that is working 24/7 just to take everything away from you. And that's how you got to think.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of emphasis that you need to have on everything that you're doing. So the hour over here just closed bearish Are we just going to continue to push below? This to me would be selling at the bottom. So I'm just waiting for some kind of resistance to form during like 8 o'clock, maybe 7:40, 7:45. But I do like how we tried to retest over here and we passed the low over here on the 15-minute. But I'm not going to jump into this, right? We had this massive bearish move. A lot of times you try to sell down here and price just pulls back, right? So I want a clean setup over here, something like we had right here.
Like it could have the chance to come up and test 151,900, right?
It could. I honestly don't see it happening, but it very well could come up there and do that. But this is that setup that I'm talking about. You got the not massive, but a nice bearish move coming down. You got price coming right back up, creating a resistance, and then continuing right back down, passing the low over here. But did you have? Let's see how many pips you had over here. If you waited for that candle to close, you only had about 12, 13 pips over here. Maybe about 16, 17 pips right here that you could have grabbed if you waited for this candle to close. But the fact of the matter is you had this massive fake out. It happened before over there. The same exact thing happened before. No, I don't want the rewind tool. Right over here. Once we tapped into that zone, we just had that straight drop. Price, kind of retested right here and just pushed right through that support over there. So the same thing happened right over here where you have this move right here. We create that perfect resistance, perfect setup. And with a bearish close, you can put your stop loss up here, anticipating price to retest the support, but also could break right through with a clean move to the left, right? After having this fake out up here. So that would give me confidence. But right now, it looks like we could be flipping bullish over here, creating a resistance, sort of like this, and then we could take this right back down to 151, 100. Right, so critical level over here. So we're just going to wait on that. And while we do, I'm going to break down gold. And let me just keep it on my other screen over here so that I could monitor it. Let's see. Yeah, we're pushing some bearish volume over here. Let's take a look. All right, gold. Very similar to our setup right over here, right? Create these historic highs. We enter that recovery phase, kind of consolidate over here, hold support, and then we break through. Once they start implementing tapering or increasing interest rates, that's typically what happens over there. See, I'm taking a look at GJ over here, and I want us to watch this together. We can hold off on gold for a little bit. Let's see how. See, right now it's the first 5 minutes of the hour. Right now, and we're passing the low of this candle right over here. We're about 34 pips. James, are you done for the day?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the other account now. So.
Okay. Oh, okay. So they're gonna set you up with the new account.
Yes, I said I'd wait for that.
Awesome. So looks like we're passing the low over here right away. 15-minute. Cool. So I'm just gonna watch this and see if we form some kind of a resistance over here. That's the 5-minute. But I'm gonna wait for some kind of a pullback, and then we'll get a nice move during New York. But this pre-New York move was very nice. after consolidating over here, creating that resistance and pushing down. So let's see if we get some kind of a pullback, because this is basically the bottom of the move. It dropped 58 pips. So what are the chances you could squeeze another 20 pips out of that without creating a resistance? To me, it's fairly low. You do have the clean move to the left, but now you're starting to approach this area over here. You're starting to approach this area right here, previous consolidation, resistance, support over here. So right now we're at that level. What are the chances that price is going to react to that level? Pretty high. Right now, you see how it passed the low of that candle. Now it's starting to reject. So let's see if we get a resistance formed, a nice clean setup, and then we can take this down, waiting for candles to close. So yeah, let's get into to gold over here. After reaching these historical highs up here from COVID, many different factors that pump gold up. You had Trump coming into office. You had the Iran conflict. You have COVID, which is the main mover. But a lot of things had to do with pushing gold all the way back up to 2074. And then we entered that recovery phase. Vaccines started to come in. Looks better on the monthly, I would say. But I just wanted to point out this 3 month right over here, strong bearish candle. This candle comes up, creates its top wick, closes a weaker bullish candle. This candle already creates its top wick and then past the low of that candle. So could we just start to drop from there with this being our setup? Remember, I point this out to you all the time on the lower time frames, where we have this wick right over here, strong bearish candle, weak bullish body with a top wick. If we pass the low of that candle, we could continue right back down. So that's what I'm looking at over here. Looking at the monthly, again, we had this corrective phase ever since creating that historical high up here. And we've just been kind of consolidating, but also on our way down to retest 1680, right? Then we come right back up. We had geopolitical issues, inflation fears coming all the way back up into these candle body highs. And then we ended up just pushing down with a good NFP. Remember, we had two good NFPs 2 months in a row over here. So that's what pushed us down. What's up, Gio?
What's up, brother? How's it
Good
going?
morning. How was your weekend?
It was good. How was yours?
Good, man. How it was, my fiance went down to Florida, so that was it was just me and the puppy, so that was nice. It's hanging out. So now again, we have this resistance over here, a wick to fill. Are we coming back down into 1680? I could see it. I know we're very bearish right now. Current monthly candle, finishing the month off strong, actually weak, if you want to call it that, but finishing very weak, continuing all the way back down here. Now, again, you guys got to keep in mind that a lot of Fed members are speaking. Powell is testifying, right? A lot of different monetary policy members around the world from different central banks are speaking as well. So are they all hawkish? Are they all talking about increasing interest rates? I know the Bank of England is, right? I know other places are. I think New Zealand is. But for some reason, the Fed, Powell, is finally a little hawkish. Like they're talking about tapering or increasing interest rates, but they're very cautious. But at the same time, like I broke down before, it just doesn't make any sense, right? They created this inflation. They're saying that it's not that big of a deal, but then they're saying, you know what, we're going to start tapering, even though it's not that big of a deal, which it's just a little weird. So anyway, monthly candle pushing down, breaking this previous level of 1760, somewhere around here, served as a key level over here. If you could take a look, previous rejection points over here. So now we're breaking below the weekly as well, right? After creating a top wick over here, we could be continuing all the way right back down to 1680. And we all know how significant of a level that is. Remember, we formed our double bottom over here since being this when we were in this corrective phase over here, we were in a channel, right? Price tapped 1680 over here. We come up, reject, come right back down to form that double bottom again, and then we just started to rise all the way back up to I would say 1920, coming right back up, tapping 1920, and then we had that NFP coming out. So right now we were in this consolidation phase. We respected this previous resistance that we talked about last week, and then we've just been pushing down. So we have a clean move to the left. We could be filling that area. I want to get down to the lower time frames over here. This looks good to come down at least to 1721, 1720. Right in here. Now we look to the left, significant level. Always look to the left. See where price is at. But this is a great setup over here. This is actually what I was looking at last night for this to do, but we ended up grabbing liquidity again and then continuing right back down. But I'll show you the trade that I took last night. But since we actually, let me get rid of these. Bear with me. Cool. As less as possible. I don't want all that mess. But ever since tapping into this area for the third time, we kind of broke this down of what would happen once we tapped into that area, and we got this bearish candle closing on the daily. Price ended up just pushing all the way down. Kind of looks like the setup that we just saw on GJ, right? Where you had this support holding, price pushes up, kind of get a fake out, and then we break below support and continue down. Consolidate a little bit, retest, another fake out, and then we continue right back down. So since tapping into this area, we've been pretty bearish, right? Lower lows, lower highs, continuing down. Now, last night, what I was taking a look at over here was that we had this move, this retracement, retesting this previous area right here. Previous support became resistance, rejection, nice bearish candle. This candle came up, created its top wick, passed the low of that candle, and closed below support over here, right? Closed below these bodies. Now, these candles came up to retest a little bit. All right, holding resistance. We got that rejection candle over here. I had a good feeling that we were coming right back down to 1720 as I was looking at yesterday. And this is a perfect setup on the daily. It's what we look for. Now, looking at the 4 hour, the 4 hour got a little messy over here. So we'll do most recent support and resistance. We have our resistance right up here. Now, what happened to me last night was kind of funny. Ended up working out, but the reason I have 1750 is it's that significant level, so I kept that on there. But we had this rejection, rejecting this previous support over here, consolidating over here, and then just breaking below. Where's my journal? I didn't fully journal it yet. Right over here. This is what some of the higher time frames looked like at the time last night. Rejecting this area, pushing down. You got this bearish weekly candle over here. It's kind of weak. This candle already created its top wick and started passing the low, or flipping bearish at least. This is what it looked like at the time as well. You have this rejection over here. That candle starting to push bearish. So being in this it's not really consolidation, but it is. We had this rejection over here. Price was pushing bearish. As we broke the low over here, I actually entered this on the 30-minute, but it looked like a good entry on the 4 hour too, with your stop loss above the previous 4 hour. But I don't think that was the proper stop loss that I had. I'll show it to you. Yeah, so right over here. Okay, cool. So we had this resistance over here. This is where my stop loss was, above the 30-minute resistance. This candle started pushing below this support with some volume, right? and started pushing down. I anticipated a retest of this, at least this area over here, but I wanted price to continue right back down through that area and hold a runner. But what happened was I entered this, price ended up pushing right back down to this support, and I ended up closing the full thing thinking that I was tapping close custom. If you guys have magic keys, you know what I'm talking about. So I ended up closing the full thing right over here instead of closing custom, and I was going to move my stop loss to break even. But look what ended up happening. We tapped into that area, right? Rejected it, and I would have been stopped at break even, right? Which would have been a fine trade too, right? I would have secured at 1-to-1, stop loss at break even, tapped out, and I would have lost the runner. But at the same time, like I ended up getting my full thing down here at 18 pips, and I was happy with it. But I just thought it was funny. I was like, oh, wow, I was going to hold a runner. But anyway, we ended up grabbing liquidity up here and then just, basically tanking over here. So nice setup, price pushing out of support over here, passing the low of this wick over here on the 4-hour. Let's look at the 1-hour over here. Perfect setup right here. Right, at this previous support, but price ended up creating this resistance over here. We know we're bearish. We had this consolidation. We're exiting it right now, right? We get this resistance formed, enter as soon as this candle closes bearish. Put your stop loss up here, maybe a little bit higher, about 22 pips above the previous 1-hour candle. And that's a clean 100 pips right there that you could have gotten, right? So let's take a look at what we could be getting right now based on the area to the left. So right now you're getting into this consolidation over here. You're starting to enter this area, but with 1720 being such a significant level, what I'm looking for is the same thing I'm looking for on GJ, is that pullback, which is what we're getting right now on GJ, by the way, if you're taking a look. I'm looking for some kind of resistance to form. It's not like we have a clean candle to the left. I'm looking for just recent price action, looking for that setup that we get. Price is bearish, looking for a resistance to form, and then we could take this down. But again, taking a look at the fundamentals and what's going on today, you do have Powell testifying today in front of Congress and consumer confidence, which is a big deal. Right. And also you got Bowman and Bostic speaking as well. So just keep that in mind when it comes to gold. Maybe they're pricing in the fact that they're going to be hawkish. Right. And they're going to talk about tapering and some things that we need to do when it comes to monetary policy. But just look for those setups that you always look for. That classic resistance forming, candle closes in your direction, stop loss above the previous candle, and you take that down for however many pips that you see fit. But when it comes to that, you guys got to be living with any kind of decision that you make in the market. I say it all the time. Reese, that's something going to be big for you. It's never the market's fault. Remember that part in the course, Extreme Ownership? Never the market's fault, never anybody's fault when it comes to anything in life. There's always something that you could look in the mirror and see how you could get better at it. And when it comes to the market and trading, you're not going to get anywhere blaming the market for any kind of loss that you've taken. So you got to be able to live with it. You got to be able to understand that, all right, this is my target. I'm going to secure or close the full thing at this target. And I'm not going to try to squeeze anything out of it, because a lot of scalpers get into that area where, they have this target, right? They secure at that target and they end up wanting to just hold a runner. And they're like, I'm going to secure less than I said I was going to secure. And I'm going to, I'm just going to hold on to this thing. And that's not where you want to be. What you want to do is you want to have that target and have that clear plan going into each trade, knowing exactly what you're going to do. If price does this, price does another thing, you have a plan for that as well. You have a plan B. But always have that plan going into the trade. Always have that exit plan as well. Super important. But now that we broke the charts down and we know what we're looking for that resistance over here on gold. And then we're also exactly what we said would happen on GJ. We're reacting to this level over here, right? Holding support. And now what I'm looking for after such a strong bearish move over here, something similar to over here, but not as long of a consolidation, right? We consolidated up here. We ended up, here, looks better on the 4 hour. We ended up tapping into 149, right? Pushing all the way back up to this multi-week downtrend over here, consolidating over here, grab liquidity, and then we just headed down, broke this support over here. So over here, not as long of a consolidation, but we consolidated, we held support, came up, faked out, broke support over here, and then we're starting to push down. So now what I'm looking for is just some kind of a resistance to form in this area, and we could take this down right back down to 151 flat, you could call it. But that'll be our plan. But the reason why we're reacting to this area, previous candle bodies over here. So if you look at the 15-minute previous resistance, previous consolidation area, previous support right here. So right now, price is reacting to that area and holding support. Right now, I'm looking for a move that we could take right back down. But this was the move of pre-New York. Let's wait for another pullback and a resistance to form, and we take that down. Same exact thing going on with gold. All right, got a nice pre-New York bearish move over here. We got this support holding so far. You know, I wouldn't even call it a support yet until candles close. But we're just looking for something similar to this, and where we could take this down, because obviously we have nice bearish volume. Just keep in mind the Fed speaking today and Powell speaking today as well. Carlos, what's up, brother?
Yo, what's up, man?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are y'all?
Good, man. You had a good weekend?
Yeah, you know, pretty solid.
There you go. Ready to get back in the charts?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to have a good week this week. Great week last week. Everyone was on their P's and Q's, making sure you're getting everything done, making sure you're, you know, keeping a daily task reminder of everything you got to get done every day. That's where you want to be. Constant pushing yourself, constantly pushing yourself. All right. So we got a 15-minute rejecting over here on GJ. We need candles to close. We got the 30-minute closing in about 7 minutes. So let's see if we end up rejecting this area and closing around this, or maybe below the support. Just got to be patient. So does anybody have any questions? Reese, while we're waiting for these, let's go over like different supports and resistances. So the main thing, what do you feel like you're having trouble with, first of all?
It's pretty much just identifying the key levels, you know, where they're actually like where it's tapping into the resistance and the support. But I mean, I'm kind of seeing it better because like as you're going right now, I'm marking my trading view a little bit. I'm sort of getting the same thing.
Okay,
just
cool.
by looking at it now. So
yeah, that's something, again, just like your trading skill, just like everything else in trading, it's going to come with experience. It's not going to take much experience though when it comes to drawing supports and resistances. Now, when it comes to doing that, it is subjective when it comes to support and resistances, not nearly as subjective as trend lines, but subjective in the terms of like how people draw their supports and where they draw their supports. Some people use wicks, some people use candle bodies. You know, some people like to mark off like hundreds of different key levels. You know, that's up to you. A lot of people like to mark off quarter points. Do you know what that is? Reese?
No.
Okay.
What
Quarter
was it called
points.
again?
What was that?
What was it called again?
Quarter points.
Quarter points.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a brief definition of it, but at the same time, you can always go back and research this. Go on to Baby Pips, and they have a section on that as well. But quarter points is just marking off the, you know, 0. You got 0.250, you got 0.500, you got 0.75 or 750, and then, you know, the next 100. So normally price likes to react in these levels. Not all the time, but it does. But what I'd like to do over here is you see how we've been breaking down the key levels over here as far as support and resistance and where price is reacting to. So obviously this is a very key resistance up here, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And then what we had over here was a key level over here. We had some consolidation over here, but we also had a support and a resistance formed over here as well, where price ended up reacting to and just pushing down. So right over here, you can annotate on the screen, where would you put your support and resistance over here based on the daily at least?
I would put it at, let's
Do
see
you,
here.
do you know how to annotate?
No, but I would put my support at, let's just say a little bit above 1740.
Right here?
Yeah, that right there, and then
Good.
exactly where you have the top one.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then pretty much I use the horizontal line. I start marking in on the 4-hour.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's good.
I showed Carlos too the other day, and he said he's like for the 1 hour and 30 minute, because usually like lately you start off with the monthly, and I've been starting off with from the daily down to the 1 hour and 30 minute.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So what I like to do, obviously I break things down from the monthly and the weekly, but I typically don't really draw too much on those time frames. I really start drawing my zones on the daily. Does that make sense?
Say it again.
So when it comes to the monthly and the weekly, I don't typically draw too much, right? I'll draw horizontal lines and key levels, like let's say 1680 on gold, obviously a very significant level that we could be coming down into. But I typically don't draw too many supports and resistances or too many zones on those higher time frames until I get down to the daily. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I was watching, I was doing one of the teachable, well, the beginning of the teachable, the first live session on there.
Okay.
And then I started, what I did was from each time frame, I was pretty much writing down what you were marking.
Nice.
So yeah, I noticed from those two, you did pretty much all you only mark the supports and a trend line. And then when you got to the 4-hour, that's where it started making more sense, because I could see it kind of, you know?
Yep.
So
yeah, all you just keep in mind, you just want to adjust as you go down. So we have the daily support right over here. So once we go down to the 4-hour, maybe we can move that. You want to be fluid. But also before we do that, I just want to point out, you have this rejection area right over here. And then price holding that area on the daily. It gets messy on the lower time frames, which is why we adjust. But just keep in mind that price ended up closing below this support over here, but respecting this wick pretty much. And then we rejected, grab liquidity right up here. Nice doji candle right over here. This candle created its top wick and then rejected, passed below that candle, and then just dropped. Right. So right now we also have a support over here we could possibly be tapping into. looking at the 4-hour now, starts to get a little bit messy when it comes to this resistance, right? So right now with this, what you want to do is just adjust it right over here. And you want to go most recent support and resistance. A lot of people, you could start getting lost a little bit once you start avoiding that once you start avoiding the most recent support and resistance, and you start looking left, and all of a sudden you have like all these different zones on your chart because you're paying attention to literally every single level. Now, many levels are important, but most importantly, when it comes to scalping, most recent support and resistance is most important. And you look left at the area. Okay, could we be coming down into 1725? Absolutely. How many pips do we have in that zone? About 150, 155. So could we get a trade in this area? We passed the low of that candle. Could we get a resistance formed over here for price to continue down? Excuse me. Glass of water. So all we're looking for is basically the same exact thing that we've gotten in the past, right over here. We had that area. So could we get something like that right here for us to take price right back down? Right? So wait and see. Maybe with New York volume, we get that. But right now, GJ, oh no, I want to do that. Keep that on there so we can monitor it. See how we're holding that support over here? Starting to break that minor resistance. Maybe on that. No, maybe not. This is a zone right here that I'm looking at. That maybe we'll break above, or maybe we'll hold resistance and continue right back down and retest that low. Right? Actually, let me. This whole area is an interesting area to me that we could very well reject, or start to push through it and create some kind of a resistance right up here, and then we continue right back down and retest this low. Just wait and see. GJ and gold look very similar right now. That over here. See, when it comes to what the Fed talks about, I don't like. I take what they say with a grain of salt because you can't believe what they're trying to tell you, just because they're hiding the inflation somehow. But Jamie Dimon, very JP Morgan, very prominent guy when it comes to banks. He's warning that it's possible the Fed could be forced into a sharp move next year. Again, they're the ones creating this inflation, right? So they're going to be forced to do something. And you already hear it from Powell right now saying that inflation's not that big of a deal, but we're still going to be tapering. We're still maybe going to be increasing interest rates. So I feel like they just think majority of the general public is stupid, which, to be honest with you, you might be right. But for those of us that trade on a daily basis, we know economics. We know what happens when you print money and add that into the circulation. We know what happens. It's inevitable. That it happens every single time. So for them to be saying that, it's not that big of a deal, we're going to be fine, is alarming. Just taking a look at some fundamentals while we wait. Gio, how's the project coming?
Oh, we're getting close to finishing.
Nice. How's it looking?
Oh, actually, it's looking pretty solid. It's no, there is only one unit that's vacant left. So
You said you have one unit that's vacant?
yeah, right now, well, basically, we're moving to the we're working on the exterior, so we're actually done with all the interiors and stuff.
Okay. Awesome, man.
Hey, have this ever happened to your Magic Keys wherein you have a partial TP and your computer went to sleep on sleep mode and your partial TP didn't get activated?
No. But it should because it's set on your MetaTrader, not your computer. Like it shouldn't matter what your computer does, right?
Yep, that's what happened to mine. I have an overnight trade.
And it never, activated.
Never, yeah, because usually I have my Magic Key set up.
Uh-huh.
When I hit my partial TP, my entry goes to break even.
Yeah, that's never happened to me just because I never use partial TPs really. I really only use 4 or 5 keys on this Magic Keys, maybe 6. But I use open calc, obviously, open trade, double trade, stop loss at entry, close full, close half, close custom, and then that random white button in the bottom left. I don't know if you know, but that changes whether it's a buy or sell.
Your position, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Market pending very seldomly. I started my trading career doing a lot of buy stops and sell stops, but I prefer, as you start to perfect your trading style, you start to prefer different things. And I honestly prefer market orders much more than pending orders like that.
Sorry to interrupt, but gotta get going, boys. Gotta get ready for work.
Okay, brother.
All right, you guys have a good day. Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, you too, man.
Start to the week. I'll talk to you later today, okay?
Okay.
See you, Reese.
Yeah.
Dude, these supply chain issues are getting worse and worse. Every industry.
Dude, crazy. We're like I work in a sushi company,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We're freaking running out of tuna. Like seriously. Our vendor in Vietnam, actually, they were saying that their fishermen are getting barred by Chinese vessels.
They're getting barred? What does that mean?
So yeah, they're in their area of like on the ocean where they're supposed to be fishing. There's a lot of Chinese vessels and they don't let them fish on their own territory.
They're taking all the fish or they're telling them to leave?
Well, they're telling them to leave. Just same thing with Filipinos fishermen. So, yep, it's in South China Sea. They're like, yeah, they're just trying to take over.
They're a threat, man. They're a threat to everything. I'm not crazy about China. Dollars on its rise over here because the Fed's been hawkish. Starting to push up. That's why you're seeing that down move on gold. Now we just wait. See how we're rejecting this area over here on GJ? Like I was talking about. Yeah, that area right there. It's the 15-minute, 7:40. So normally we get some good volume around this time. But to be honest with you, as of late, a lot of that volume's been coming around like 9 o'clock. It's been waiting another hour.
Yep.
But it looks like we are rejecting this area with these two wicks right here. We'll see what we get. You see how like you have this rejection candle right here, and then the next one over here becomes a lot weaker, right? But we do push into this area. Then this candle pushes higher above that candle into that area, and now it's going to close a doji like that again. Maybe we'll see. But typically, once you get some good volume, once you pass the low of that candle, you could just drop. So we'll see what we get. We were pretty on the money last week with a lot of these calls. Gio, you took a beautiful trade on GJ. I was kicking myself. That's something I should have gotten. Now, I'm not going to get FOMO or anything, but that was something I was looking at, and I was like, 149. Like, price is going to react to that area.
Yeah, that was
Couldn't find a
I think
clean entry.
It was a weekly. Actually, yeah, it's a weekly support right down there.
Oh yeah, you pointed out multiple times. Look at that. Multiple times over here. Tapped into it again. Boom. I like the way it looks on the daily, though, the best. See, like, I don't normally enter on the daily like that. I do want to start back testing that more, just because this is a perfect daily candle, perfect daily close. Next candle just pushes up with a clean move to the left. Ideal. And you caught it from down here. About 200 pips, right?
Yeah, about 200 pips.
Beautiful. So let's see what we get over here. We are getting that reaction to these candle bodies over here. Gold coming up, creating a resistance. It's good. It's what we want. So Gio, is that like a really good prominent spot to get sushi or to fish for tuna? Or are there other places around the world that are even better?
Well, our vendor, we have two vendors for tuna. They're actually both from because our accounts, when I say our accounts, like because we're a third party vendor, right? For like supermarkets.
Yep.
So most supermarkets that we partner with, actually they have a requirement or like a regulatory when it comes to what kind of fish we can use. So
Okay.
some vendors, they can't provide that, that document or certification that it must be sustainable. And there's I forgot what tag was that, like kind of like MSC certified.
It's like a certification that you can fish.
Yeah, it's kind of like a certified sustainable seafood, something like that.
Okay.
It should be MSC labeled, and a lot of other vendors can't provide that document. And yeah, it's very very rare that you'll find seafood vendors that provides that kind of certification.
I feel like I mean, that's good that they have that. I mean, what is the certification for? It's just like to make sure that you're fishing properly as far
Yeah,
as,
basically.
what was that?
Yeah, basically, it's just,
Okay.
a marine stewardship of basically you're doing the right thing when it comes to fishing
Yeah.
while
It's like a
protecting,
hunting license.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. But like when it comes to supply chain issues, like the guy that runs like the property management place in the complex that we live in, we just got new ACs put in, but made sure that the you know he only had like three to give us. We have three different rooms with three different window unit AC, not window unit, but like built into the wall.
Mhm.
So he was saying like even with these, like it's almost impossible to get these things. And I talked to everybody in all these industries, and they're all saying like supply chain is just terrible. Car industry. A buddy of mine that I grew up with, his dad's a dealer at a Chevy. Um, and I was like, I saw him the other day because I was picking up one of the Suburbans for the company, and I was like, "You selling cars?" He's like, "I got nothing to sell." He's like, "I got like two cars in the lot."
Seriously.
Yeah,
Like from where I live, maybe like a mile or two, it's a block. Like it's like it's all dealership. And whenever I passed by there like a year ago, it's just everything was full of cars. All their
yeah,
lots was full.
yeah.
Now it's just this is the first time I see empty lots.
There's nothing. Have you thought about getting out of California?
It went. Me and my girl were actually talking about it last week.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, it was after the election that the recall election
The recall.
that
Okay.
that's when we started talking about it. And
Yeah.
but yeah, it crossed our minds about but it will be a big move for us because we grew up here, we're based here, and
You got your family
um
there?
my whole family is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like number one for me. And it's so tough because I want to be down in Florida. I want to move down there. Just
Same
because I
here.
love the area, love the weather, love the obviously policies. The economy's booming down there. But like where we live, and you can relate with this because houses are ridiculous. Like I just had a client yesterday that um, said their son just bought a house in California, spent $900,000 for a 2 bedroom, 1 bath.
Crazy.
900 grand. Now,
Mhm.
in my area, like I've pointed this out to you guys before, but just show you the geography of it. Take it off of here. We got to dive into our favorite application.
What's the difference between Google Earth and Google Maps?
I think Google Earth, it's just like the technology just seems, so good. I don't know.
Because
I like playing with it.
on Google Map, you can still go to Street View, right?
I didn't hear that.
On the Google Map, you can still like zoom in like a street view.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So I was like, well, because I was trying to load Google Earth on my computer, but my computer is actually, I have just a basic, desktop just for nothing special. So I think when I was trying to load Google Earth, my maybe my video card is not that, not that strong to load the app.
Mhm.
So it was giving my computer a hard time loading it. But when I go to Google Map, but I don't see the difference. You can still zoom in and you can still see a satellite view of it.
Yeah, no, I just like Google Earth. I can't explain it. I think it's an awesome. I think it's Google Maps on steroids.
Yeah, that's true though.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like Google Maps is like, I don't know. I'm not passing judgment or anything, and not that they care, but it's it's just it just seems like look at this. You could just twirl the globe around. It just seems like so much easier of a database to use. Now I'm looking at GJ over here. We're passing the low. I was thinking about entering this with a stop loss up here. We're getting that volume. Let's see the 1 hour is flipping bearish. Let's see how many pips we have. Oh yeah, this could work. Yeah. So I just entered a sell over here based on the 15-minute. Entered somewhere around there with my stop loss above the current candle, anticipating price to drop 10 to 13 pips. So I'll be securing at 1-to-1, especially before the hour closes. So we'll see how this plays out. What I want to do, I have to journal real quick. Actually, before we do that, we'll just take a look at this trade and how it plays out. And then we'll go back to Google Earth. Anybody else in this right now?
Yeah. Excuse me, my bad. Yeah, I had
That was
yeah,
good.
yeah, because I was looking at the 15-minute as well. And I I just see how like they kept closing like below 151 700.
Yep.
And like you said, like with volume, like it just kept
Yeah.
pushing down.
Right. Should be a good day for me since 28 is my lucky number. So far, so good. Gio, are you in this?
Now I'm waiting for the next candle to close.
Cool. Let's watch and see what happens.
And just because we're in the 4-hour resistance, that could be turned to support.
4-hour resistance. Right over here?
You're right over there, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know if this 4-hour would pass that, you know, but yeah, I'll probably wait for the 1 hour.
What I want right now is for us to. Okay, so we're starting to break these wicks over here. So I think right now really didn't get many pips out of that. I'm only at 5 pips, 6 pips right now. But the hour's gonna close and there we go. Cool. 8 pips. .6. All right, I just closed half. With us breaking these wicks and coming down, we got the hour closing in about 3 minutes. I'm leaving my stop loss. You know what? No, I'm going break even on the stop loss, and I'm happy with what I'm doing right now with this. So we ended up securing down here around 8.9 pips. No, secure 50% at 8.9 pips after for cool. All right, if you'll excuse me, I'm just gonna use the bathroom real quick. Perfect. All right, I'll be right back, boys.
All right.
Spread stopped me out. Typical. GJ plus 8.9 pip gain. Perfect. Carlos, how you been doing with the journaling?
Honestly, been on and off,
Okay.
but it's been more on than off. You know, like
That's good.
Yeah, it's definitely more active than before when I was like first getting into it.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, the only thing I haven't been doing is journaling the trades that I could have potentially taken.
That's where all your confidence is going to come from.
Right, yeah. I need
And
to have
also like what you could be doing on the trades that you are taking. Like what could I have done better? Like with me, I was more conservative on this trade. I could have left my stop loss above this candle over here, and then ended up grabbing 10 pips, and that's something that I'll record. And the more I do that, the more confident I'll be in, holding that down the road.
right.
I've seen too many times where the 1 hour shoots right back up to reject and stops you at your original stop, even though it's only half of your position. It's still, once you're in profits, at least 8 pips like that, you should never go back in the drawdown, especially if you're always aiming for 10. So what I could have done was, once we came back to my entry over here, I could have just closed another 50% and just let the rest run. What happened? How did this play out? Did it just open up and just shoot down?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it just kept going down and then
then it snapped back?
shut down. Yeah, it went back up.
Did it create this top wick right here, this little nipple first, or did it just shoot down and then snap back and created that and then stop me out?
Yeah, I think it just went. Yeah, I think it just went straight down, and then it went back up.
See that level we were talking about over here?
Yeah.
Strong rejection zone. So, Geo, what were we talking about as far as my area? Oh, okay. Housing prices, right? So this is my whole area. You got New York City right up here. Great location, right on the beach. You got Sandy Hook, very prominent landmark over here. Nice peninsula. Used to be a fort back in like the 1700s, 1800s as well. But over here, you're right on the beach, and this is the town that I live in over here in Long Branch. Now, to get a house that I want, I'd be paying at least 600,000, probably 700 to 800,000 for a house out there, right? Now, for a house that price but much bigger, if I just go out west into freehold over here, I'm getting for $600,000-700,000, I'm getting like a 5-6 bedroom house with multiple bathrooms, and it's a good size house. You're getting a lot of house for that, right? So that's one consideration. But also, you get some of the highest taxed people and areas here in New Jersey right now. I think New Jersey is one of the highest taxed, along with New York, along with California. So I also pay income tax up here. So do I want to stay in Jersey, where I have all my family, which is the only thing holding me back, or do I want to go down to Florida, where I could spend 400,000 for a whole lot of house. You could get a lot down here in Florida, right? Especially on the West Coast over here. We've been looking at in the Tampa area over here, Sarasota, Fort Myers, Marco Island, Naples. Once you start getting into the Miami area, the closer you get to Miami, the more expensive housing is going to be. But for me, it's almost a no-brainer. No state income tax. I'm not paying income tax on my trading, right? Or any business. Like, why am I up here? That's why I asked Gio, do you have any plans on moving out of California? It's almost like a no-brainer, other than family holding you back.
Right.
So
Actually, when I was on a business trip in Texas. I had a free one day that I just went around and looked for houses.
oh, did you really?
And yeah, there were open houses where I was actually in what was that in Dallas.
Okay.
I was in Dallas during that time, and yeah, I was looking at the houses, and I was looking at the neighborhood. Actually, it was pretty nice. I mean, um, anything that we have in here, actually, they're starting to get, like it's being developed faster than what I thought it would be. But
Wow.
I guess it's because of the influx of people moving around, especially because of pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's one consideration I'm looking at. And well, for me, when it comes to work wise, actually I can move anywhere because
Yeah.
yeah, I'll travel for work.
Yeah. And
And
you've always been working from home. Do you guys have an office?
we have an office, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, the office is 15 minutes away from me, from where I live right now.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
it's pretty convenient, yeah. Um, but yeah, that's the only thing holding me back is family. You they're all here, and it's been you know every weekend I get to see them. That's the only thing. If I move, then that's something that that's a big decision, or that would be a big part of my decision if I'll move
Yeah.
into somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot that goes into it. It's not as easy as just picking everything up and leaving. Like you're entering a new community. You're entering a place that you're not too familiar with. Um, just because you like the policies, you're leaving a lot of people behind. So it's hard. It's hard for us as well to do it anytime soon because we have a wedding coming up. So what are we gonna leave everyone and then come back up for the wedding?
Yeah, and I don't know that they were talking about the election on the podcast of PBD, and
Which
it's
one?
just crazy. Like the recall election,
Okay.
it was like what 67% said no,
Well, I mean, there's what,
and like
5 million more
two-thirds.
liberals in California than there are Republicans.
Yeah, but like two-thirds of the population saying like, yeah, we should continue what's happening in California, right?
These people don't think.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, I
and the
would
day
so yeah, go ahead.
the day he won the recall, he started implementing mask mandate or vaccine mandate.
Vaccine, yeah. They
And
said they would never implement, a vaccine mandate a day after they did.
it's ridiculous. It's a joke. And I finished the PVD Joe Rogan podcast. You finish it?
Yeah,
It's really good, right?
it was really nice.
I had no idea about the homeless thing. The
Which one is it?
So Joe Rogan was saying that the people in California handling the homeless
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
situation
That
are
there,
making six
there's no.
figures.
Yep, there's no money in fixing that. He was saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah. I mean,
six
that's how it
figures.
is. You
These
know,
people have been in place for so long. The problem gets worse, right? And these people are making six figures. They're in bed with the governor.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know. It'll be a little bit. We're looking at 2023 to probably own a house and move down there. Just want to sack away and be smart. Tiger, what's up, brother? See you in here? Not sure. Tiger, you there?
He's probably setting up his computer.
I love when that happens. Let's see. Let me see how you did. Fantasy. We got beat by James this week. James Little.
Mhm.
Yeah, his team beat me in fantasy. I took my first loss. Oh well. Tiger, I was just checking to see how you did this week.
Yeah, it's going.
How you doing, buddy?
So far, so good.
Awesome. Yeah, James smacked me up. I had a bad week. You lost too.
Oh, in fantasy, yeah.
Yeah.
0-3.
Oh, you were playing Brady, Metcalf. Wow, Metcalf went off. You're 0-3?
Yeah.
Oof.
It looks like McCaffrey's going to be out for a couple of weeks, too.
Is he?
Yeah, he got hurt.
These running backs have no shelf life.
Yeah, it's
That's right. I mean, he's like the whole team, but still, it's like, how long? Whenever you want to trade for a receiver, just let me know.
looks like I might need one because mine aren't showing up.
Yeah. My running backs are actually kind of showing up, scoring in like the around the 15s. Melvin Gordon had a good game.
Who else you have?
I have so many receivers though on my bench. I got Moore. I got Odell that came back this week. Yeah. So Tiger, how'd you end it? How'd you end your week last week?
Last week I didn't trade the last 2 days, Thursday or Friday, but I still ended up green on the week.
Nice. Well, you just didn't see anything you liked, or you were busy?
Yeah, I was just busy those 2 days.
Got it. How's work coming?
I actually just started yesterday.
Awesome.
It was for my new job with the economic department.
Okay.
But so far it's pretty cool. They have me up. They have like dual monitors at my desk, so I was kind of trading the whole time
How are you working from home or in the office?
in the office.
Oh wow. We were just talking about California. What have you thought at all about moving out?
Yeah, I was thinking about moving out to like DC.
That might be just as bad.
What do you think,
I say go down to Florida, man. Texas,
Florida?
Arizona. I would say North Texas. Stay away from the border.
Yeah,
Stay
I've
away from
noticed a lot of
Dallas.
people moving out to Texas.
Yeah. I don't blame them. Gio and I were just talking about this. Like the only thing holding me back is family. It's tough to leave family like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. See, so Carlos, do you understand like what I was noting as far as like what I would have done differently on this trade?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like definitely leave my stop loss where it was. Spread
Yeah.
took me out. If I left it where it was, I would have easily had 10 pips. Instead, I secured at 8.9, which is fine. But I would have been able to leave this runner in because I do think we're gonna continue right back down. Maybe not right away, but continue down into 151, 100. Look at that 4 hour. Now the only thing is this 4 hours is gonna close in 40 minutes, 41 minutes. So could we get a bottom wick formed and we reject this area again? Or are we just gonna drop? That was a nice move. Probably got 3 hours of sleep last night. Oh. Yeah, I've been rusty since going down to Florida. I feel a lot more rusty for some reason. I don't know how much going on today. It's on a back test. It's at 8:15 volume.
All right, guys. I'm gonna catch y'all tomorrow. I gotta get ready for work.
Okay, brother. Nice having you on. I'll talk to you in the DMs and in the chats, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Peace out.
You too, brother. So where in California you guys?
I'm in San Bernardino.
San Bernardino. Where's that? Oh,
It's like-
that's where those school shootings were, wasn't it?
San Bernardino. That's where they had like the Inland Regional Center shooting.
San Bernardino or San
Yeah.
Bernardino?
San Bernardino.
Okay, yeah. There was a couple shootings over there in the last 5-10 years, right?
Yeah, I think the biggest one was the regional center shooting. That was like a couple years back.
Yeah. People are
It was a
crazy.
husband and a wife, and then they were on the run.
People are nuts. You see that thing about that Gabby Petito girl?
No, what happened?
Oh,
Oh,
supposedly,
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, crazy. I couldn't imagine being his parents.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like with the FBI all outside your house. Like, do you give your son up? Yeah. Do you cooperate with them? Like, that's tough.
Yeah.
It's not what you want. And it's like being in that position, you feel like you're in a movie. Like you ever see like Gone Girl and like all these where like you got newscasts outside your house taunting you, the FBI, police, civilians standing outside. It's like a movie.
Yeah. Like
Never
reality
expect that
hasn't
to
hit
happen.
yet. Yeah. It's probably just be traumatizing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's terrible. Let's see. A little snapback over here. What a setup. See, gold is still retracing over here. Are we going to get some kind of a resistance formed? Let's see what we get. Tiger, we broke the charts down before. Got perfect bearish trend going on right now with gold. We have Powell. I think Powell's testifying today. Or is that tomorrow?
Yeah, there's some nice
Yeah,
moves.
today.
Yeah,
on
it's
gold
today,
and
10
GJ.
o'clock. What was that, Tiger?
There's some nice moves on gold and GJ.
Oh, I know. Beautiful moves. Gio, you said you took this as well?
For gold?
Yes.
No.
Oh, who was that? Huh. Yeah, I took where was it? Last night. Oh yeah, it was right into here. Have the journal. Tiger, I ended up taking gold sells over here as we were consolidating over here. Volume started pushing us out during London, coming right back into this area. I went to secure and ended up closing the full thing by accident, pressing close full instead of close custom. I was going to move my stop loss to break even, but ended up playing out because I would have been stopped out anyway. But gold just dropped last night during London. It's a good move. Let's see if we're going to reject this whole area right here. So Tiger, it's been easy for you to like get your trading stuff done while you're working?
I don't know yet. I'm just kind of getting started to it.
Yeah. Yesterday was the first day.
I built a schedule where if I stay on routine, then it should be fine.
Okay. There you go.
So I just gotta stay on schedule.
100%. So I like this rejection over here on gold. What time is it? 8:30. 30 minutes about to close. So if we close like that and we get a pass to the low over here, we could continue right back down.
You probably look for like an impulse breakout for this one, right?
On gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should be coming down because if you look at the higher time frames, should be coming down into this area. Like it wants to. Now the 4 hour, how's that going to close is the question. Got about 30 minutes for that. But the 1 hour, I like this rejection so far. Let me just take a few screenshots real quick. Let me open it up on here. I didn't enter anything. I'm just, wow. I'm dropping. Problem is that support on the 15-minute.
Yeah, I wanted to break that low first.
It doesn't have a top wick over here. See, we have this support over here on the 15-minute.
Yeah.
And we have no top wick on the current 30-minute candle, which is what's, holding me at bay a little bit. Yeah, typically the gold likes to grab liquidity real quick, create that top wick, and then it drops. But I like this setup. See how it's rejecting that area right now? So far.
Yeah, I just kind of wait for that work to be created. And then-
Yeah. Gio, you're still sticking with GJ?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Now, are you journaling yet? Like any of the trades on gold, or does it just not appeal to you at all yet?
I am, but like what I said before, it was like most of the trades that when I backtest were happening around 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern.
Okay.
So with my schedule, I'm actually out of the charts already during that time. So
True.
it doesn't make sense for me to trade gold with low probability, like pre NY or NY open.
Makes sense.
So I rather put that capital that I'm gonna trade for gold on GJ. Just increase my lot size on GJ.
Oh man, yeah, smart. Have you looked at any other pair or just literally just GJ?
No, just GJ. But before I was actually, watching every other like there's multiple pairs that I was watching because I was doing swing trades. So
Okay.
in swing trade, you basically have to. There's only very little entry or very little trade opportunities you can find if you do swing trade. You have to wait like days or even weeks for you to see a possible trade.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking at multiple currency pairs before. But yeah, actually I like this better sticking to one. I could focus more. I could basically observe how like every candle moves, like an hour, 30-minute candle.
Mm-hmm.
And based on that, yeah, it's I have higher probability of winning a GJ than doing what I was doing before,
Yeah.
and also with gold. So
Listen, I like that. When I ask you these things, like when it comes to gold or any other pair, it's not like putting pressure on you that you should be trading other pairs. I'm just curious. I think it's smart what you do. You know,
I mean, yeah,
not a lot of people have that discipline. So
the setups that I have, or like the breaking retest stuff, I also see it in gold. But the thing is that the time frame that where mostly it happens is during the time
exactly,
that I'm not on the chart. So
exactly.
why would I risk money on something that I know has low probability of
Exactly.
winning?
All right, gold is starting to push down. Hmm. 30-minute already created its top wick. I think I'm gonna enter this as we're pushing. So I just enter this with my stop loss above that wick. We should continue down from here. So after this trade, I'll be done. Already grabbed the win on DJ. 15. We'll see how this one plays out. But within the next half hour, we should drop based on this setup. I like this rejection a lot too. It's wick. Take another screenshot of the 15-minute. Tiger, you in this?
Yeah, I'm trying to do dynamic risk here.
Smart. So where was your first entry?
First entry's at 1731.9. And then second one's gonna be around like 1730.80.
Okay. Perfect. Did you say 1738?
The first one, 1731.
Oh, 31. Okay.
1731.92.
Perfect. I got this camera for the living room for my dog, like when we leave, and it's like kind of creepy. Like I can control it. I can like move it wherever I want in the living room.
Just keep a watch over him.
Yeah. It's cool though. He's awesome. Sucked this whole weekend. I wasn't able to get in the gym because I'd be gone most of the day. That was the longest I've left him alone because she wasn't home. She was down in Florida, and I was out on drives with clients.
Just take him on some car rides.
Yeah, but like when I'm finally get home from a drive, do I want to leave him again for another hour and a half, 2 hours? I was getting little workouts done at home, but still, it's not the same as the gym.
There it goes.
Let's go. Beautiful. So I just secured down here, close to 1-to-1. About 27 pips. Good shit, Tiger. Gio, what'd I say this morning? With today being a lucky day?
Oh yeah.
So 28 is my lucky number. So it's 28th of September. That's funny. It's all superstition. 80% at 27 pips. Should have secured at 28. Actually, I didn't move my stop loss down. So now if we come back to my entry, I'll close another 50. But I'm gonna give this thing a little bit more room to breathe because I think we should tap into 1726, 1725. And then, if we start to push down even more, we get a nice strong close, then I'll go break even. And maybe depending on how hawkish Powell's going to be today, we could get a further drop with a nice runner going for the rest of the day. So that'll be nice. How'd you guys do yesterday? We guys able to trade? Oh, Tiger, you got gold buys, right?
Yeah, I just took it for about 10 pips.
Beautiful. Were you happy with the way you played it, or could you have done anything better?
I don't know. I like the patience that I put into that one, so
Okay,
I wasn't trying to force anything.
smart. Okay, we got the 15-minute closed. Let me send this into the chat. Let's see. Yeah, see, I should have caught this entire GJ move. Let's see. Sending a message to the group.
In your journaling, I've only just been just writing on the charts.
What was that, brother?
Like when you've been doing your journaling, are you just writing on the charts, or do you actually put like a description in the?
So what I do is while I'm trading and while I'm on here with you, like typically before I used to do these live streams, I'd be on Rakil's and I'd be journaling the whole thing while I'm doing that. Sometimes I do that when I don't need as much detail, but like right now, what I'll do is like the past 2 trades I took, I'll take all the screenshots, right, of all the time frames that I need, and everything updated as well. And then I'll put the title in here, and then I'll leave out like whatever I made on it. So plus 20 pip gain. I'll add that later. I'll add the labels later, and I'll also add the description later, like something like this. Like this whole description over here, because you could put so much in here that you're not really going to put necessarily on the charts. Does that make sense? Like it just becomes crowded. Actually, this one I didn't do a description on yet. This one, it's a lot of the psychology stuff too. Not necessarily the stuff you would put in your trading AAR, but a lot of stuff that you're thinking on this trade that necessarily, like if you're looking at the chart over here, you don't remember what you were thinking on this. So it's good to write that description in there, what you're thinking before the trade. That's basically what goes into number 1. And then the entry is normally number 2. And then 3 is normally where I secure. And then 5 is anything, more than that if I'm securing more or, closing partials because we're in drawdown, stuff like that. The more detailed you can get, the better. But yeah, boys, I'm actually about to head off. I'm actually doing a market breakdown with Sharma soon for YouTube, and I'll send that to you later today once it's up. But guys, have a great day. You two are very on top of your stuff. Like obviously Gio with your business, with the sushi stuff, and the real estate. Tiger, you've always been very focused, so I'm not worried about you two. But we all have goals. I think we all want to be trading full time, right? So just put that time in today and continue to work, and just what you have to do, and just do it. Work every day like someone's about to take it away from you.
Yes, sir.
All right, boys.
All right, brother.
So
Talk
great
to you later.
session, 2 wins. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I look forward to it.
All right.
Let me know if you need me.